Keanu Reeves mocked by car dealership workers. They had no idea he's the owner. It was an ordinary morning at the upscale car dealership on the outskirts of Los Angeles. The sales floor buzzed with employees preparing for another day of persuading customers into overpriced vehicles. Among them was Ryan, the head salesman, known for his arrogance and a knack for ridiculing anyone who didn't fit his idea of wealthy clientele. Around 10 a.m., a man entered the showroom wearing a worn-out leather jacket, faded jeans, and scuffed boots. His hair, long and slightly unkempt, framed a calm face with a faint, almost unassuming smile. He walked in casually, his movements slow and relaxed, as if completely indifferent to the opulence around him. Ryan noticed him instantly, and a mocking grin spread across his face. He elbowed another employee, Greg, and whispered just loud enough for the others to hear, "Check out the guy who just walked in. Did he get lost on his way to the thrift store?" The comment elicited a few chuckles from the staff. The man approached the front desk, where a young receptionist greeted him. "Hi there. How can I help you today?" she asked politely. "I'd like to take a look at some of your cars," he said, his tone friendly but firm. Ryan, overhearing this, couldn't resist stepping in. "Sir, are you sure you're in the right place? These aren't exactly budget vehicles." The man looked at him unbothered by the snide remark. "I know," he replied simply. "I'd still like to see what you have." Ryan exchanged a glance with Greg, smirking. "Well, if you're serious, we can start over here," he said, leading the man to a row of luxury sedans. As they walked, Ryan continued his subtle jabs. "These models start at $90,000. But don't worry, we do have financing options if needed." The man ran his fingers along the sleek hood of one of the cars, nodding thoughtfully. "It's a beautiful vehicle," he said. "How's the performance?" Ryan suppressed an eye roll. "Exceptional, of course. But maintaining a car like this isn't cheap. Insurance alone might cost more than your current ride." Greg, standing nearby, snickered at the comment. The man didn't respond to the insult. Instead, he asked to see the SUV section. Ryan obliged, although it was clear he didn't take him seriously. "These are our premium models," Ryan explained. "Perfect for families or anyone who needs extra space, if they can afford it." The man examined one of the SUVs closely, peeking inside and inspecting the features. "This one's nice. Could I take it for a test drive?" Ryan hesitated. Test drives were typically reserved for customers who seemed like genuine buyers, and in his eyes, this man didn't qualify. But before he could decline, the man added, "Unless there's an issue?" Ryan forced a smile. "No issue at all. Let me get the keys." As the man waited near the SUV, a few employees whispered and laughed quietly among themselves, making jokes about how out of place he looked. During the test drive, the man's questions about the vehicle were sharp and detailed, showing an unexpected level of knowledge about cars. Ryan, still trying to mask his irritation, answered mechanically, but he couldn't help but notice how composed the man was. When they returned to the dealership, the man said, "I'll take it." Ryan blinked, momentarily stunned. You want to buy it?" "Yes," the man replied, pulling out a sleek black card from his wallet. "I'll pay in full." The room fell silent as Ryan processed what was happening. He examined the card, his skepticism evident. "Are you sure this is legitimate?" The man smiled faintly. "Run it and see." Ryan reluctantly processed the transaction, and to his shock, it was approved instantly. His demeanor shifted immediately, becoming overly friendly and accommodating. "Thank you for your purchase, sir. If there's anything else we can do for you." But before he could finish, the man interrupted him. "Actually, there is something," he said, his tone still calm, but now carrying a hint of authority. Ryan straightened up. "Of course, what do you need?" The man reached into his jacket pocket and pulled out a small business card. He handed it to Ryan, who read it aloud. "Keanu Reeves, owner." Ryan's face turned pale. The room, once filled with quiet laughter and mockery, was now dead silent. I like to visit my businesses occasionally, Keanu said, his voice steady. See how things are running. Today was insightful. Ryan opened his mouth to speak but couldn't find the words. Keanu continued. I believe in treating everyone with respect, regardless of how they look. It's something I expect from my employees as well. Do you understand? Ryan nodded hastily, his confidence completely deflated. Good, Keanu said, turning to leave. But before he walked out, he looked over his shoulder and added, Oh, and Ryan, I'll be following up on this visit. As the door closed behind him, the staff stood frozen, processing what had just happened. Ryan, once the arrogant ringleader, was now visibly shaken. The dealership had been eerily quiet since Keanu Reeves left. The once vibrant hum of chatter among the employees had turned into whispers of speculation and nervous glances. Ryan, who was usually the loudest voice in the room, now kept his head down, avoiding eye contact with everyone. The following week, things appeared to return to normal, but the air of tension lingered. Ryan, though visibly more subdued, tried to convince himself that Keanu's words had been an empty warning. After all, how often does a Hollywood A-lister have time to follow up on a random visit? But just as Ryan was beginning to relax, the dealership received an email that sent shockwaves through the team. It was from Keanu Reeves' personal assistant. The message was brief. Mr. Reeves will be visiting the dealership again tomorrow at 11 a.m. He expects all employees to be present. Panic set in. Ryan immediately called an emergency meeting, scrambling to make the place spotless and drilling the staff on customer service etiquette. We need to act professional, polite, and above all, respectful, he emphasized, though his voice betrayed his anxiety. By 10:45 a.m. the next day, the dealership was immaculate, and every employee stood at their posts wearing their best smiles. Ryan adjusted his tie repeatedly, sweat forming on his brow as he glanced at the clock. At exactly 11 a.m., a sleek black car pulled into the lot. Keanu stepped out, dressed sharply in a tailored suit but maintaining the same calm demeanor he'd had during his previous visit. This time, however, there was no mistaking his authority. He walked into the showroom, his eyes scanning the room. The employees greeted him with a chorus of, "Good morning, sir," their voices tinged with nervousness. Keanu acknowledged them with a polite nod but didn't say a word. He gestured for Ryan to follow him into the manager's office. The door closed behind them, leaving the rest of the staff to speculate about what was happening inside. Ryan, Keanu began, taking a seat across from him. Do you know why I'm here today? Ryan swallowed hard. To check on the dealership, sir? Keanu's piercing gaze didn't waver. Partly. But mostly I'm here because I want to talk about leadership. Ryan nodded quickly, unsure of what to say. Last week, I saw how you treated someone you assumed didn't belong here. Keanu continued. What kind of message do you think that sends to your team? I wasn't thinking, sir. I made a mistake, Ryan stammered. Keanu leaned forward, his voice calm but firm. It's not just a mistake, Ryan. It's a reflection of your character. And as the head salesman, your behavior sets the tone for everyone else. Ryan nodded again, his face pale. I understand, sir. It won't happen again. I hope not, Keanu said. Because respect and kindness aren't just values we preach, they're the foundation of this company. And if you can't embody that, you have no place here. Ryan's heart sank. Please, Mr. Reeves, I'll do better. Just give me a chance. Keanu studied him for a moment before standing up. I believe in giving people second chances, Ryan. But this is your one and only warning. If I hear of anything like this happening again, you'll be out of a job. Do you understand? Yes, sir. Thank you, sir, Ryan said, relief washing over him. Keanu opened the office door and stepped out, addressing the entire team. I've made it clear to Ryan, and now I'll make it clear to all of you. This dealership operates on respect. Not just for customers who look wealthy, but for everyone. Treat every person who walks through these doors with the dignity they deserve. Understood? The staff nodded, murmuring their agreement. Keanu's expression softened slightly. I believe in leading by example. So, if any of you have ideas for how we can improve, how we can make this a place people feel welcome, my door is always open. With that, he left, leaving the employees to reflect on his words. Over the next few months, the dealership underwent a transformation. Ryan made a conscious effort to change his behavior, and his sincerity gradually earned back the trust of his team. The staff adopted a more inclusive and respectful approach, creating an atmosphere that customers noticed and appreciated. One day, an older man in modest clothing walked into the showroom. The staff greeted him warmly, offering him coffee and assistance. He spent hours exploring the cars, asking detailed questions, and sharing stories about his life. As he prepared to leave, he turned to Ryan and said, "You know, I wasn't planning to buy a car today, but the way you treated me, it made me feel valued. I think I'll come back tomorrow and make a purchase." Ryan smiled, realizing the impact of his change in attitude. For the first time in years, he felt proud of the work he was doing. True success isn't measured by wealth or appearances, but by the way we treat others. Respect and kindness can transform not only workplaces but also lives.